I launched a 5 yuan poor devil combo meal in the cafeteria. It included one meat dish, two vegetable dishes, and all-you-can-eat rice. The cost of the ingredients alone was more than that. My heart ached seeing those kids who would secretly buy just one steamed bun. In the first week, I sold over 300 combos daily. I was losing money, but seeing the children eat their fill made it all worthwhile. Until one day, I saw a post on the school's online forum. A freshman posted it with a picture of my combo meal. What good can you get for 5 yuan? You get what you pay for. Is the school trying to poison us? A chorus of agreement followed below, calling me a black-hearted boss. I turned off my phone. That night, I accepted an invitation from the university across the street. The next day, a notice was posted at the cafeteria entrance. The poor devil combo is permanently discontinued. Uncle Wong won combo. A tall, thin boy handed a crumpled 5 yuan bill through the window, a slightly embarrassed smile on his face. I took the money and swiftly served him a large scoop of potato and chicken stew, accompanied by stir-fried greens and mapo tofu. Finally, I pressed the rice scoop firmly into the container again and again, piling the rice into a small mountain. Is that enough? If not, I can add more. The rice is all you can eat. That's plenty. Thank you, Uncle Wong. The boy took the tray, gave me a grateful look, and quickly went to find a seat. My name is Wong Chung, and I've been running this cafeteria window at the university for nearly 10 years. Last month, I happened to see a girl squatting in a corner of the cafeteria, nibbling on a dry steamed bun. Her eyes were empty. A heavy feeling settled in my chest. The next day, a new sign hung on my window. Charity combo, 5 yuan. One meat, two vegetables, and all-you-can-eat rice. My assistant, Little Lee, tried to reason with me at the time. Brother Chung, we'll lose our shirts at this price. The cost of that scoop of chicken alone is over 3 yuan. I wave his concerns away. If we lose money, we lose money. Consider it a good deed. Let the kids who can't afford a proper meal have something hot to eat. After its launch, the combo sold like crazy. Over 300 were sold every day, gone in less than an hour. Seeing the students who used to buy only steamed buns and free soup, now holding a tray with meat and vegetables, eating until they sweat, I felt the financial loss was worth it. I lost money for a month, but my heart was at ease. Until today. Brother Chung, look at this. Little Lee rushed into the back kitchen in a panic, shoving his phone in my face. It was the school's internal forum. The title of a pinned, highlighted, and bolded hot topic stung my eyes. Exposed. The 5 yuan poor devil combo at window number 3 in the second cafeteria. Is it charity or pig slop? I took the phone, my fingers trembling slightly. The poster was a freshman, with the username Campus Princess. In the post, she had taken a photo of my combo meal. The angle was deliberately unflattering, making the chicken pieces look dark and small, and the green vegetables appear waxy and yellow. Who gets it, folks? I tried the legendary 5 yuan combo today for a cheap meal and almost threw up. The meat is like a rock, and the vegetables have a weird taste. You really can't buy anything good for 5 yuan. It's purely a case of you get what you pay for. Is this how the school treats its poor students? Do they think we're easy to bully? I recommend everyone avoid this trap. A black-hearted business. May it close down soon. A tightness gripped my chest, and I could barely breathe. The chicken I used was the freshest from that day, and the vegetables were from the best first-tier wholesale market. To control costs, I personally went to pick up the goods at 4 in the morning every day, cutting out the middleman's markup. I cooked every single dish myself. Scrolling down, the comment section had already amassed hundreds of replies. I always felt something was off. How is 5 yuan possible? They must be using scraps, or even lymph node meat. Disgusting. I ate it yesterday, and now I feel like throwing up. The original poster is right. This isn't charity. It's hypocrisy. Using the banner of helping the poor to make dirty money. Boycott. We must boycott. Get this black-hearted vendor out of our school. A user named Chan's Protector was particularly active, liking every comment that cursed me and replying. Our Chan is so brave for daring to expose the truth. I saw that the poster Campus Princess's profile picture was a selfie. A girl with exquisite makeup, flashing a peace sign at the camera, smiling brilliantly. I recognized that face. She came to my window almost every day, and every time she ordered the 5 yuan combo. When she came yesterday, I had even given her an extra chicken leg. At the time, she had said, "Thank you, uncle. You're so kind." My knuckles turned white as I gripped the phone. A chill shot up from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. I turned off the phone and handed it back to Little Lee. Little Lee's face was red with anger. "Brother Chung, these little bastards. I'm going to go reason with them. What is this nonsense?" "Don't." I untied my apron, my voice terrifyingly calm. "There's no need. If a person's heart is dirty, you can't wash it clean, not even with disinfectant." I took out my phone, found a number I had saved for a long time, and dialed it. It was picked up after a single ring. "Hello, Boss Wong? How's the consideration coming along?" A hearty male voice came from the other end. That was Teacher Zhang from the logistics department of F University across the street. He wanted to poach me last month. I looked at the figures of students coming and going outside the window, opened my mouth, and said only 2 words. "I'll go." After hanging up, I took a worn piece of cardboard and a marker from my locker. Xiaoli saw what I was doing and was stunned. "Brother Chung, what are you up to?" I didn't say anything. I hunched over the cutting board and wrote, stroke by stroke. Each character was written very large, with great force, the tip of the marker nearly tearing through the cardboard. "Notice, effective tomorrow, this establishment will permanently discontinue the 5 yuan meal set. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause." When I finished, I handed the cardboard to Xiaoli. "Xiaoli, before you leave tonight, post this in the most conspicuous spot on the window." Xiaoli opened his mouth, but in the end said nothing. He took the cardboard and nodded heavily. During the evening rush, the line at the window was as long as ever. There was an endless stream of students coming for the 5 yuan meal set. I looked at them, the warmth I once felt in my heart now gone. I'm just a businessman, not a bodhisattva here to save all living beings. My goodwill had been thrown to the ground and trampled to pieces by that post and its comments. At 8 in the evening, the crowd in the cafeteria dispersed. Just as I finished scrubbing the last pot, my phone rang. It was Director Lee from the cafeteria management office. "Little Wong, are you off work yet? Come to my office for a moment. I have something to discuss with you." Director Lee's tone had its usual bureaucratic air. I wiped my hands dry and went straight there without changing out of my work clothes. Director Lee's office wasn't large, and the air conditioning was blasting. He was sitting behind his desk with his beer belly sticking out. He pointed to the chair opposite him. "Seat." I didn't sit. "Director Lee, if you have something to say, please say it directly. I'm still busy." Director Lee frowned, clearly displeased with my attitude. He tapped the phone on his desk. "Little Wong, I saw the matter on the forum. The impact is very negative." "So?" I asked. "What do you mean, so?" His voice grew a little louder. "The students are very emotional, and they're all questioning our cafeteria's food safety. That 5 yuan meal set of yours. Was there a problem with cost control? The ingredients you used were they—" "Director Lee," I interrupted him, "I go to pick up goods at 4 every morning. The channels I use are all legitimate, with complete receipts that can be checked at any time. I wash the vegetables myself, I cut the meat myself, and I scrub the pots myself. Whether there's a problem or not, you and I both know the answer." My voice wasn't loud, but the air in the office seemed to freeze. Director Lee's face turned pale, then livid. He never expected I would dare to speak to him like that. He softened his tone, adopting a solemn, lecturing manner. "Little Wong, that's not what I meant. I'm saying, when doing business with students, you have to be tactful. Now that public opinion is flared up, we have to find a way to calm it down. How do you propose we calm it down? How about this?" He leaned forward, lowering his voice. "You issue a statement tomorrow. Say that the previous version was for testing flavors, and now you're launching the official version. As for the price, raise it to 8 yuan or maybe 10. Then make the dishes a bit more refined to shut those students up." I had to laugh. "Director Lee, are you saying that it was my fault for being kind enough to sell it for 5 yuan? And now I have to raise the price and apologize?" "Not apologize, clarify. Directo y stresa. It's for the school's reputation and for your own good. Do you still want to work here or not?" I looked at his greasy face and couldn't be bothered to show him the last shred of courtesy. "I quit," I said. "Director Lee, I came today just to tell you this. The contract for this stall expires next month, and I will not be renewing it. For the remainder of this month, I will follow the contract and complete the procedures. Director Lee shot to his feet, pointing at me. You, Wang Chung, what kind of attitude is this? Are you threatening me? This isn't a threat. It's a notification. I turned and walked away. When I reached the door, I stopped and looked back at him. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. F University has already sent the contract to my email. Their terms are excellent. 2 years rent-free, plus a subsidy. Director Lee's face instantly fell like a deflated rubber ball. He knew what F University meant. It was our school's biggest competitor in the city. The two schools competed in everything: faculty, student enrollment, even the cafeterias. I didn't look at him again. I pulled the door open and left. Back in the kitchen, Shally had already posted the cardboard notice. Several passing students were gathered around, watching and discussing animatedly. I took out my phone and opened that forum. Campus Little Princess had posted a new update. Heard the black-hearted merchant is planning to run away? Sisters, this is our victory. Justice will prevail. Below, there was a chorus of cheers. I calmly shut off the screen and began to pack my things. My knives, my pots, my spices. These were the foundation of my livelihood. As for that so-called justice, whoever wanted it could have it. The next morning at 6, I arrived at the cafeteria's back kitchen as usual. The air was not filled with the familiar aroma of food, only a cold silence. Little Lee had arrived even earlier than me and was silently helping me pack my personal belongings into cardboard boxes. Outside the window, the cardboard sign that read, "Set meal canceled," was particularly conspicuous. At 7, students began to file into the cafeteria. Many habitually lined up at my window, and when they saw the notice clearly, they all froze. No way. It's canceled. Why? I just ate here yesterday, and it was fine. What's going on? I only have 5 yuan left on my meal card. A boy wearing glasses hurried over, a look of disbelief on his face when he saw the notice. He came every day, and every time he had the 5 yuan set meal. Uncle Wong, he shouted towards the closed window. What's going on? Why is the set meal gone? I didn't go out, nor did I respond. Little Lee couldn't bear to watch anymore. He walked out and said to the boy, "It's gone, just gone. It won't be back." But why? Go ask that person on your forum called Campus Little Princess. Little Lee tossed out the sentence irritably and turned back to the kitchen. The line gradually dispersed, but more and more people gathered in front of the window. Most of their faces showed confusion and dissatisfaction. Just then, a sharp female voice rang out. Canceled? Serves him right. Just because someone told a few home truths? If you're that thin-skinned, why even bother doing business? I peeked through a crack in the window. It was her, the girl with the ID Campus Little Princess, Zhou Qian. She was wearing a pretty little skirt today, surrounded by a few other girls who looked like her roommates. She looked at the notice, her face full of contempt and triumph. I told you so. There must be something wrong with cheap stuff like this. A guilty conscience runs away as soon as he's called out, she said to the people around her, her voice just loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. One roommate chimed in. Exactly. Qian, you have such sharp eyes. If it weren't for you, we'd still be kept in the dark. Of course, Zhou Qian lifted her chin like a proud peacock. My dad taught me since I was little. You get what you pay for. 4 or 5 yuan. You can't even get a decent breakfast, and you expect a meat and 2 vegetable dishes? Dream on. Her words resonated with some, but many more, especially the students who frequently ate the set meal, showed anger on their faces. The boy with glasses from before couldn't hold back any longer. He stepped forward and said, "You can't say that, can you? I eat Uncle Wong's set meal every day. The food is very clean, and it tastes great." Zhou Qian shot him a sidelong glance and sneered. "That's because you have low standards. You're used to eating pig slop, so everything tastes good to you." The boy's face flushed with anger. I couldn't listen anymore. I pushed open the kitchen door and walked out. I was still wearing my faded white work uniform, holding a wok spatula I had used for years. All eyes focused on me. When Zhou Qian saw me, far from being scared, she met my gaze provocatively. Well, the black-hearted boss is out. What? You want to hit someone? I walked up to her and stopped. I was a head taller than her, looking down at her. I'm the one who canceled the set meal. My voice was calm. We know you canceled it. What? Can't handle the heat. She crossed her arms, looking completely unabashed. That's right. I nodded. I can't handle it. I'm just a small business owner. I don't have that much money, nor am I that generous. I sell a loss because I want some kids to be able to eat their fill, not for people like you to eat my food while cursing me for serving pig slop. My words silenced the surroundings instantly. Zhou Qian's expression changed. What nonsense are you talking about? Who ate your food? You didn't. I stared into her eyes. Last month, you ate here a total of 26 times, and every time it was the 5 yuan set meal. Just yesterday at noon, I even gave you an extra chicken leg. Have you forgotten? A suppressed gasp rippled through the crowd. Everyone's gaze shifted from me to Zhou Qian's face. Her face, at a speed visible to the naked eye, turned from white to red, and then from red to a sickly green. She was incoherent, her eyes frantic. Just then, Director Li pushed his way in with 2 security guards. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is everyone crowding around here for? He wore an air of authority, and upon seeing me, his brow furrowed even deeper. Wang Cheng, it's you again. Didn't I tell you to be mindful of your influence? What do you think you're doing? Without asking for any explanation, he immediately directed his accusations at me. I couldn't be bothered to waste any more words on him. Director Li, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just packing my things, getting ready to leave. I slammed the ladle in my hand onto an empty table beside me, making a loud clang. I'm done with this place. After speaking, I turned and walked towards the back kitchen, ignoring everything behind me. Director Li's shouts, Zhou Qian screams, the students' chatter. It was all as if blocked out by an invisible wall. My world was finally quiet. I returned to the back kitchen. Xiaoli had already wrapped all my personal cooking utensils in cotton cloths and placed them neatly in a box. His eyes were a little red. He kept his head down without a word, but his hands never stopped moving. All right, I'll take care of the rest. I patted his shoulder. You've worked with me for 3 years. You've pretty much learned the craft. I'm quitting this stall. You can stay, or I can recommend you to another place. Xiaoli shot his head up. Brother Cheng, what are you saying? I'm with you. Wherever you go, I'll go. A warmth spread through my heart. Over at F University, I won't be able to handle it alone for now. If you're willing, you can come with me. But it's just starting out, so the pay might not be as high as it is now. I'd do it even without pay. Xiaoli thumped his chest soundly. I just can't stand these people. We make a living with our skills. We shouldn't have to take this kind of crap. I smiled and said no more. As Xiaoli and I were loading the last box onto my small truck, Director Li came chasing after us again. The authoritative air on his face was gone, replaced by a forced smile that looked uglier than crying. Boss Wang, we can talk this out. Why go this far? He blocked the front of the truck. How about this? The student who made that post, I'll have her publicly criticized throughout the school and make her apologize to you. As long as you stay, anything is negotiable. I looked at him and found it laughable. Where was he earlier? Director Li, there's no need. I pulled open the car door and got into the driver's seat. Right now, the sight of anyone from your school is an insult to my eyes. Director Li couldn't maintain his composure any longer. He pointed at my truck, trembling with anger. You'll regret this. Once you leave, don't even think about coming back. I didn't bother to reply. I started the engine, stepped on the gas, and the small truck let out a roar before speeding off, leaving a cloud of dust behind. In the rearview mirror, Director Li's figure grew smaller and smaller, finally becoming a blurry black dot. Goodbye, this place to which I had dedicated 10 years of my heart and soul. Goodbye for good. Half an hour later, the truck stopped at the entrance of the second cafeteria at F University. A middle-aged man in a clean white shirt and glasses was already waiting there. It was Teacher Zhang from F University's logistics department. When he saw me get out of the truck, he immediately came up to me with a broad smile, enthusiastically shaking my hand. Boss Wang, we've been eagerly awaiting you. Welcome, welcome. His hand was warm and firm, completely different from Director Li's flimsy handshake. Teacher Zhang, hello. Don't be so formal. Just call me Lao Zhang. He helped Xiaoli unload things from the truck, saying as he worked, the stall has been all cleared out for you. It's the best spot in the whole cafeteria, right opposite the main entrance. As for the kitchen equipment, see what you're missing, give me a list, and I'll have it all ready for you this afternoon. We followed him into the cafeteria. F University's cafeteria was larger, brighter, and cleaner than our old one. The stall teacher Jean pointed out was indeed a prime location, spacious and prominent. In the back kitchen, the range hood, stove, and freezer were all brand new. Lao Zhang, you're too kind. I felt a little embarrassed by the generosity. It's nothing. Teacher Zhang waved his hand and looked at me seriously. Boss Wang, to be honest with you, I've been paying attention to you for a long time. I've eaten at your school's cafeteria several times. Your stall had the best tasting food and was also the cleanest. Especially the care you showed for the students. We all saw it. Talented people deserve respect wherever they go. Here at F University, we need a chef just like you, one with skill and integrity. He paused, then added, as for that matter with the 5 yuan meal, I heard about it. Don't take it to heart. It takes all sorts to make a world. The students at F University, on the whole, are of good character. We definitely won't let you suffer that kind of grievance. His words filled my heart with warmth. The grievances I had endured for the past month seemed to vanish in an instant. I nodded solemnly. Old Zhang, don't you worry. Wang Chung, might not be good at much else, but I can cook. Starting tomorrow, I'll take care of the stomachs of F University's students and teachers. Xiao Li, listening on the side, was so excited his face flushed red. He leaned in close to my ear and whispered, Brother Chung, we came to the right place. I thought so too. There is respect here and sincerity. My kindness should be reserved for those who know how to cherish it. The next day, Window No. 3 of F University's second canteen officially opened for business. I didn't hang any flashy signs, just a simple whiteboard with the day's menu written in black marker. Braised pork belly, potato, and chicken stew, scrambled eggs with tomato, mapo, tofu. A total of 8 dishes, all home-style cooking. The pricing was also very reasonable. 10 yuan for 1 meat and 1 vegetable dish, 15 for 2 meat and 1 vegetable, and rice was free with refills. I didn't rush to introduce a 5 yuan set meal. Being new, I had to first establish myself with the quality of my food. Besides, I also wanted to see what the students here were actually like. As soon as the lunch bell rang, students flooded in. The new window quickly caught their attention. This one's new, want to try it. Looks pretty clean, and the food smells good. The first person in line was a tall, sturdy young man. He ordered the braised pork and the scrambled eggs with tomato. As I was dishing out his food, he suddenly said, Sir, a little less meat is fine. Just give me more of the sauce. It's great for mixing with rice. I paused for a moment, then smiled. This one knew how to eat. Not only did I give him extra sauce, but I also scooped up a few pieces of the most tender, melt-in-your-mouth pork skin from the bottom of the pot and added them to his bowl. Young man, try this. It's the best part. The young man's eyes lit up, and he thanked me repeatedly. Throughout the day, Xiao Li and I were so busy we didn't have a moment to rest. The 500 portions of food we had prepared were all sold out by 1 in the afternoon. The students at F University were even more polite than I had imagined. Everyone said, Thank you, sir, when they got their food, and when they returned their trays to the collection point. They would even go out of their way to gather the bones and scraps together. No one argued with me over the price or the portion size, and certainly no one looked at me with that scrutinizing, critical gaze. When we closed up for the evening, my back ached so much I couldn't stand up straight, but I felt at ease in my heart. While scrubbing the pots, Xiao Li said excitedly, Brother Chung, our revenue today was almost 7,000. That's more than double what we made at that last crappy place. I was happy too, but what I cared about more were the hundreds of thank yous I had heard that day. My phone vibrated. It was a WeChat message from an unknown number. Uncle Wang, it's me, Sun Hao, the one who used to eat your 5 yuan meal set all the time. I remembered him. He was a shy boy with glasses. Hello, I replied. Uncle Wang, you really left. The first day you were gone, the cafeteria was a mess. He sent a photo, a screenshot of our school's forum. The titles of the popular post had changed from cursing me to complaining. Damn it, Chef Wang is gone. And now we don't even have pig slop to eat. The food I got at noon today was expensive and disgusting. The new place at Window No. 3, 1 serving of twice-cooked pork is 25 yuan, and it has only 3 slices of meat. The rest is all green peppers. Missing the 5 yuan set meal on day 1. I miss him. In the comment section below, the tide had completely turned. Where are all those people who were cursing Chef Wang before? Get out here. Give us back our Chef Wang. It's all that campus princess's fault. She was enjoying the benefits and still trashed the person providing them. Great. Now everyone has to suffer with her. I looked her up. That campus princess is named Zhou Qian from a school of economics and management. They say her family is pretty rich. She carries designer bags every day. I really don't get why she'd go for the 5 yuan meal and then turn around and bite the hand that feeds her. She's a hypocrite, enjoying someone's kindness and then complaining that they're not doing it gracefully enough. Sun Hao sent another message. Uncle Wang, the whole school is cursing Zhou Qian now. When she went out this afternoon, someone poured a Coke all over her. It was a total mess. Director Li's phone has been ringing off the hook, and a lot of people have gone to the logistics department to complain. Reading these words, I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not sympathy. None of it had anything to do with me anymore. I replied to Sun Hao, it's all in the past. Study hard. Then I opened the F University campus forum and registered a new account. I created a post. The title was, Hello everyone, I'm the new Chef Wang at the second canteen. The content was simple. Thank you all for your support today. To celebrate our opening, tomorrow at noon, we will be giving away 100 free servings of seaweed and egg drop soup. First come, first served. Additionally, I plan to introduce a special 5 yuan meal set next week, specifically for students in need. Please stay tuned for more details. Less than 10 minutes after the post went up, it was flooded with over 100 replies. Welcome, Master Wang. Today's braised pork was top tier. Wow, Master Wang is so nice. He's even offering a 5 yuan set meal. We have to support him. So touching. This is what you call a conscientious vendor. It's our good fortune to have you at F University. Reading these heartwarming comments, I leaned back in my chair and let out a long sigh of relief. A new day had finally dawned. That post of mine had completely blown up on the F University forum. The next morning, just as Xiao Li and I arrived at the cafeteria, Teacher Zhang came over, beaming. Boss Wang, you're really quiet until you make a move, and then it's a blockbuster. He showed me his phone. Look, your post made the headlines on our school's homepage. It even got the principal's attention. He just called specifically to praise me for bringing such outstanding talent to the school. I was a bit embarrassed. I just posted a teaser. I didn't expect it to cause such a stir. What does this show? It shows that people's hearts are a scale. Teacher Zhang clapped my shoulder. You genuinely treat the students well, and they can all feel it. By the way, about that 5 yuan set meal, the school looked into it and decided to give you a subsidy. We can't let you lose money just to earn a reputation. For every meal sold, the school will subsidize you 3 yuan for the cost. I was stunned. The difference in treatment was like heaven and earth. At my old school, Director Li was only thinking about how to squeeze money out of me and how to make me quell the public opinion for him. But here, Teacher Zhang and the school leaders were thinking about how to support me and ensure I didn't suffer loss. Old Zhang this. Don't refuse. It's a gesture from the school, Teacher Zhang said with a smile. You just focus on making good food and providing good service to the students. The school will cover the rest. A warm current surged through my chest. I nodded forcefully. All right. In that case, I'll graciously accept. At noon, in the F University cafeteria, an unprecedentedly long line formed in front of my window. The line stretched from the window all the way to the cafeteria entrance, snaking around several corners. The 100 free servings of seaweed and egg drop soup were quickly given out, but the line showed no sign of getting shorter. Everyone wanted to taste for themselves just how divine the skills of this Master Wang, who had become a campus-wide sensation overnight, really were. The two of us, Xiao Li and I, were busy from 11:30 until 2 in the afternoon, without even a moment to drink some water. In the end, not even a single drop of soup was left in the pot. After seeing off the last student, I was so exhausted I collapsed into a chair. Just then, my personal cell phone rang. It was an unfamiliar local number. I swiped to answer, and a cautious, somewhat sycophantic voice came from the other end. Hello, is that Boss Wang? This is Director Li from our school. My brow furrowed, and I instantly lost all desire to speak. What is it? I spat out the words coldly. Hey, Boss Wang, look at you. Are you still mad at me? Director Li chocolate. What happened before was my fault. I was being bureaucratic. I apologize. You're the bigger person. Don't lower yourself to my level. Get to the point. I had no interest in listening to his nonsense. Director Lee's breathing hitched. He seemed to have been choked up by my attitude. He cleared his throat, his tone becoming even more humble. Boss Wong, it's like this. You see, could you come back? Our school can't do without you. After you left, the students have been complaining nonstop, and I'm under a lot of pressure. As long as you come back, you can name your price. Rent-free. Utilities are on us. I'll even apply for a bonus for you. I laughed when I heard this. Director Lee, a horse might turn back to graze on old grass, but a person doesn't. Didn't you say that if I left, I shouldn't even think about coming back? I'm at F University now, and I'm doing very well. The people here respect me, and the school supports me. Your small temple can't accommodate a great Buddha like me. After saying that, I hung up the phone and blocked the number, all in one smooth motion. Almost at the same moment, Shaoli ran over with his phone, a look of shock on his face. Brother Chung, look, it's exploded. The forum at your old school has completely exploded. I took the phone. It was a screenshot of the post I had just made on the F University forum, which someone had reposted. The title was, "What we cast aside like a worn-out shoe is the treasure another desperately seeks." Below was a tsunami of comments, filled with regret, anger, and despair. Fuck. Master Wong really launched the 5 yuan set meal at the university across the street, and the school is even subsidizing it. I'm fucking losing my shit. For lunch today, I ate 20 yuan's worth of pig slop, while the students at F University get to eat Master Wong's compassionate set meal for 5 yuan. Director Lee, step down. Zhou Qian, get out of the school. Give us back our Master Wong. What's the use of saying all this now? Once a heart is broken, it can never be warmed again. We personally push someone who is genuinely good to us to our rival. Today, I finally understand what if you don't court death, you won't die means. We deserve this. In the thread, a user with the ID Chanqian's Guardian posted a comment. Chanqian knows she was wrong. She hasn't eaten for a day. I'm begging you, please stop cursing at her. Immediately, hundreds of replies followed. She can't eat. That's great. Let her have a taste of what it feels like to be hungry. Get lost. Trying to act pitiful now. Too late. Tell her for me, F University's 5 yuan meal combo officially goes on sale next Monday. Let her be envious. I stared at the screen, silent for a long time. Beside me, Shaoli waved his fist in satisfaction. Serve them right. Brother Chung, this feels so damn good. I handed the phone back to him, slowly stood up, and walked to the window. Outside, the sun was bright. On the F University campus, students walked in 2s and 3s, their faces beaming with youthful smiles. I picked up a rag and began to wipe the already spotless stovetop. It was time to prepare for next Monday's menu. Braised chicken with potatoes was a must. I'd add a braised eggplant. The kids at F University should like it. As for the people and things of the past, they were like grease stains on the stovetop. Once wiped clean, they were forgotten. Monday, early morning. The F University campus was still shrouded in a thin morning mist, but Shaoli and I were already sweating in the back kitchen. The braised chicken and potatoes in the large pot bubbled, and a rich aroma filled the air. On the other side, golden scrambled eggs and bright red tomato chunks were tumbling in a wok. For this first 5 yuan meal combo, I gave it my all. I chose the most tender leg meat for the chicken. The potatoes were stewed until they melted in your mouth, and the sauce was thick, perfect for mixing with rice. At 11 o'clock, Shaoli and I pushed 2 large insulated containers of food to the window. On the whiteboard, in bold letters, was written, Caramel Combo, braised chicken with potatoes, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, all-you-can-eat rice. Price, 5 yuan. Below it, in a smaller font. Our capacity is limited. This meal is intended to help students in need. If you're financially comfortable, please leave the opportunity for those who need it more. Thank you for your understanding. At 11:30, the bell rang, signaling the end of class. As I expected, a long line instantly formed in front of the window. But unlike the chaos at the previous school, the line here was orderly. Students curiously craned their necks, discussing in low voices. No one was pushing or shouting. I picked up the microphone and cleared my throat. Hello, students, I am Wong Chung. The caramel combo officially starts today. Same as before. The portions are large, and it's guaranteed to be clean and hygienic. I hope you all enjoy your meal. A wave of good-natured laughter and applause came from a line. The first one to get food was a tall boy. He handed over his meal card and said, a little embarrassed, "Chef, I just want to try your cooking. I'm not trying to take advantage." I smiled. First day of business, everyone gets a share. Welcome. I served him a standard portion. The boy's eyes lit up as he looked at the food piled high like a small mountain on his plate. Thank you, chef. The line moved forward slowly. Everyone was very polite. When it was the turn of a girl wearing a faded, washed-out old t-shirt, she handed me a crumpled 5 yuan bill. Her head bowed low, her voice as faint as a mosquito's buzz. "Chef, one combo." I recognized her. She had come by a few days ago, but had only looked at the window without buying anything. I took the money. As I served her, I discreetly added 2 large scoops of chicken, burying the meat under the rice. "Here you go, student." She looked up, saw the portion on her plate, and froze. Her eyes instantly turned red. She didn't say anything, but she gave me a deep bow. At that moment, all my previous grievances and anger were worth it. My kindness was finally met with kindness. In 2 hours at noon, 300 care meal combos were sold out. The other regular dishes also sold extremely well. Xiao Li and I were so tired our arms could barely lift, but our hearts felt incredibly light. As we were cleaning up, Teacher Zhang walked over with a teacup, smiling. "Boss Wang, you've worked hard. I just took a walk around the student area. Guess what they're saying?" "What are they saying?" I asked, wiping away my sweat. "They're saying that our F University has finally, thoroughly beaten the one across the street when it comes to the cafeteria." Teacher Zhang laughed heartily. A lot of students are posting on their moments, saying this is the best and warmest meal they've had since starting university. He handed me his phone to look. His moments feed was filled with pictures of my meal combo. The captions were varied. 5 yuan of happiness, given by Chef Wang. This braised chicken with potatoes is the bomb. I declare window number 3 in the second cafeteria is now my second home. See that small line of text? Please leave the opportunity for those in greater need. Now that's class. This is what university cafeteria should be like. Watching all this, my heart felt warm. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a video from Sun Hao. I opened it. The footage was a bit shaky, filmed in the cafeteria of my old school. It was supposed to be mealtime, but the cafeteria was desolate, with only a few scattered people eating. Most students were either picking up takeout at the entrance or making instant noodles at their seats. A scene of depression. At the end of the video, Sun Hao sent a line of text. "Uncle Wang, did you see? This is the 3rd cafeteria now." Director Li was publicly questioned during a meeting today and almost couldn't save face. I heard half his hair has turned white in the past 2 days. I closed the video and put my phone back in my pocket. White hair. He brought it on himself. I picked up a cloth and continued wiping my brand new stove. Every tile here was much cleaner than Director Li's opportunistic heart. My business at F University was booming. Master Wang's braised pork became a campus legend. It was limited to 100 servings a day, and you had to queue up half an hour early to get it. The 5 yuan meal set was also still available. After discussing it with Teacher Zhang, we adopted a real name registration system to ensure that every act of kindness reached its intended recipient. The university's subsidy also arrived on time. Not only did I not lose money, but I even had a small surplus. Little Lee and I were as busy as spinning tops, and in the end, we had to hire another kitchen assistant. Life was fulfilling and peaceful. Until that afternoon, I received a WeChat friend request. The profile picture was of a girl in heavy makeup. It was Zhou Qian. The request message read, "Uncle Wang, it's Zhou Qian. I'm begging you to accept." I hit ignore. A few minutes later, the request came again. "Uncle Wang, I truly know I was wrong. Please, I'm begging you, give me a chance to apologize." I frowned, a wave of disgust washing over me. This kind of belated, forced apology was more nauseating than a fly. I still ignored it, but she seemed determined, sending the request over and over again. The content also changed from an apology at the beginning to pleading. "Uncle Wang, I've already received a demerit from the school, my scholarship is gone, and now none of my classmates will talk to me. I'm living in a nightmare every day. Please, have mercy and forgive me. As long as you post on the forum saying you forgive me, that it was all just a misunderstanding. I'll give you 10,000 yuan. No, 50,000. Seeing this, I laughed. So, her apology had a price tag. She wasn't remorseful for her actions, but fearful of their consequences. What she wanted wasn't my forgiveness, but a pardon that could get her out of her predicament. I finally accepted the request. She replied almost instantly, sending a long voice message, her voice choked with tears. Unkli wangi, sobi. I was really wrong. I shouldn't have said those things about you. It was just my vanity acting up. I didn't listen. I cut her off and sent a line of text. I'm a cafeteria operator. It's a small business, and I can't afford your so-called vanity. My kindness is not a tool for you to satisfy your sense of superiority or to use for damage control. The harm you caused me cannot be fixed with an apology. The trouble you cause for the students who genuinely need help cannot be fixed with an apology either. As for the money, keep it to buy yourself a brain and a conscience. Though I doubt you'll be able to find any. Don't contact me again. Every time you appear, you remind me of the kindness that was trampled in the mud that day, and it makes me sick. After sending that, I immediately blocked and deleted her. The world was quiet again. That evening, Sun House sent me another message. He said the student union at my old school, together with over 1,000 students, had organized a real name sign petition. The petition was submitted directly to the principal's office. It had 3 demands. First, a thorough investigation into Director Lee's negligence and abuse of power in cafeteria management. Second, a public apology to Master Wang Chung, and an invitation, with the utmost sincerity, for Master Wang to return. Third, severe punishment for the student Zhou Qian, who spread malicious rumors that seriously damaged the school's reputation and student welfare, and a demand for her to make a public apology. Uncle Wang, this is blown up now. Sun Hao's text was filled with excitement. The principal has even gotten involved, saying it will be handled seriously. Director Lee is being called in for talks every day. His situation looks precarious. And Zhou Qian has become a total pariah. I heard she hasn't been to class for the past 2 days, just hiding in her dorm, afraid to go out. I looked at these messages, my heart completely unmoved. When the avalanche comes, no snowflake is innocent. Every one of them, from the instigator Zhou Qian to the peacemaker Director Lee, to those commentators who followed the trend and hurled abuse, were all participants in this farce. Now, it was simply the bitter wine they had brewed themselves, and they had to drink it down. I exited the chat and sent a message to Little Lee. Prepare an extra 50 pounds of pork belly tomorrow. F University's anniversary is coming up. Let's add a dish for the students. The past was like a fleeting cloud. I was more concerned about whether these lovely children in front of me could eat the most fragrant braised pork I made tomorrow. A few days later, a bombshell piece of news reached my ears through Sun Hao. Director Lee had been dismissed from his post. It was said that the student petition had too great an impact, and even the municipal education department had caught wind of it. To quell the situation, the school had to reluctantly make a sacrifice. His replacement was a decisive and efficient deputy director who, on his first day on the job, cleaned up all the cafeteria windows and cleared out several contractors who were both expensive and served bad food. The atmosphere of the cafeteria was refreshed, but the taste that the students had longed for never returned. When I heard this news, I was in the back kitchen, working on a new dish, sweet and sour pork tenderloin. The sweet and sour aroma lingered at the tip of my nose. I felt nothing about Director Lee's fate. He wasn't defeated by me, but by his own arrogance and stupidity. I thought that this was where the matter should have come to an end. Unexpectedly, a bigger surprise was yet to come. That noon, the cafeteria at F University was as bustling as ever. In front of my window, a middle-aged man and woman, impeccably dressed and clearly wealthy, walked straight over. The man wore gold-rimmed glasses and a designer suit. The woman carried a Hermes bag, her face tinged with arrogance. They didn't queue, but walked directly to the window and knocked on the glass. "Excuse me, which one of you is Boss Wang Chung?" The man's tone was polite, but his eyes held a condescending scrutiny. I put down my ladle. Can I help you? If you want to get food, please line up. We're not here for food." The woman spoke up, her voice sharp. "We are Zhou Qian's parents. We want to talk to you." I understood immediately. They had finally come to my door. There's nothing to talk about. I refused directly. Boss Wong, don't be so quick to refuse. The man smiled, took a check from his pocket, and pushed it in front of me. We know our daughter was in the wrong before, causing you losses and trouble. This check is for 100,000 yuan, a small token of our appreciation to compensate for your losses. I glanced at the check, but didn't move. The woman continued. We only have one request. You issue a statement saying that the matter on the forum was a misunderstanding. Or, you accept our invitation to return to your original school. We can speak to the principal and give you the best conditions, even help you open an independent restaurant. That way, my daughter can hold her head up at school again. I looked at them and suddenly felt that Zhou Qian's behavior was not strange at all. Like father, like daughter. They thought that everything in the world could be measured and bought with money. Dignity, principles, goodwill, in their eyes, were just commodities with different price tags. I was silent for a moment. The surrounding students had already noticed the commotion here and were casting curious glances. I picked up the microphone and spoke slowly to everyone outside the window and to this couple. Excuse me, everyone. I want to tell you all a story. Over a month ago, at another university, I saw a female student who, because her family was poor, could only afford to eat a single steamed bun every day. It pained me to see, so I introduced the 5 yuan set meal. It wasn't to make money, but just to let those kids have a hot meal with meat. My voice wasn't loud, but the entire cafeteria fell silent. My kindness was thrown back in my face, and I was even cursed as a black-hearted boss who served pig slop. In a fit of anger, I left. I don't regret it. Now, someone is holding money, asking me to call black-white, to use my reputation to whitewash someone who hurt me. They think my principles, my dignity, can be bought with money. I picked up the check, and in front of everyone, slowly tore it in half, and then into quarters. Then, I looked at the couple, whose faces had already turned ashen. I'm telling you, and I'm telling everyone, I, Wang Chung, am just a cook. What I value most in this life is this spatula in my hand and this scale in my heart. My kindness is expensive, so expensive that no amount of money can buy it. My dignity is also expensive, so expensive that I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees to earn money. You'd better keep your money. Use it to buy your daughter a lesson. Now, please leave. Don't dirty my window, and don't affect my students' meals. After speaking, I threw the torn check into the trash can without giving them another glance. From the crowd, someone started it, and a thunderous applause erupted. Under the gaze of 1,000 pairs of eyes, the couple's faces turned from pale to purple, and in the end, they practically fled in disarray. I watched their pathetic retreating figures, my heart completely calm. Outside the window, the sun was brilliant. A boy who had just gotten his food passed by and gave me a thumbs up. Master Wong, you're the man. I smiled. I picked up the spatula, tested its weight. It was just right. This was the life I was meant to live. The storm over the torn check spread faster and wider than I had anticipated. That afternoon, the F University forum was completely flooded. Students spontaneously uploaded videos and photos of me tearing the check, with titles more exaggerated than the last. You can't buy Master Wong's dignity for 100,000. The most hardcore cafeteria uncle in history. Master Wong, my kindness is expensive, but my dignity is priceless. Quote of the day, don't dirty my window and don't affect my students' meals. What a badass. In the comment section, the students of F University were overflowing with a sense of shared pride. Imafan, Imafan. From this day on, Master Wong is my idol. This is the kind of backbone our F University should have. We not only have to win academically, but our cafeteria spirit must also crush the competition. Suddenly, I feel that being able to study at F University and eat Master Wong's cooking every day is a particularly happy thing. Little Lee was scrolling through his phone, excitedly telling me, Brother Chung, you're the top celebrity in our school now, more popular than the campus heartthrob. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I wiped the grease from my hands and continued preparing the ingredients for dinner. Fame and all that, it's all empty. Whether the students' plates are empty at night, that's what's real. During dinner time, the way the students who came to my window for food looked at me had changed. Before, it was respect. Now, there was a bit more admiration. Several boys, after getting their food, didn't hurry away. They insisted on giving me a salute and shouting, "Master is mighty," before leaving contentedly. Teacher Zhang also came. He didn't say anything, just quietly queued, paid for a 15 yuan set meal himself, and sat at a nearby table, eating with great relish. After finishing, he returned the tray and gave me a thumbs up. Everything was understood without words. I knew that here, I had firmly established myself. At the same time, the forum of my former school fell into a deathly silence of wailing. Sunhow had screenshotted and reposted the thread from the F University forum. That torn check of mine was like a resounding slap across every one of their faces. 100,000. My monthly living expense is only 1,500. Master Wang didn't even want 100,000, all to stand up for his principles. I'm only now realizing how much our actions hurt Master Wang back then. That's not something money can make up for. Stop talking, I want to die. I was one of those who followed the trend and flamed him in the thread. I feel like a total right now. Isn't Zhou Qian's family rich? Why doesn't she use $1 million to hire Master Wang back? Oh, I forgot. Master Wang said his dignity is priceless. Everyone stop arguing. We don't deserve it. We deserve to eat pig slop every day, deserve to be treated like monkeys by the new window. This is all our own doing. In the thread, you could no longer see any voice defending Zhou Qian. That Qian's guardian had also vanished without a trace. It was said that after Zhou Qian's parents scurried back from F University that day, they arranged for her to take a leave of absence the very next day. This once arrogant little campus princess, in a most undignified way, temporarily bid farewell to the school she had personally thrown into turmoil. Of all this, I was completely unaware and uninterested. I was busy with a phone call. The call was from a well-known local food magazine. A female editor with a sweet voice said on the other end, "Hello, is this Master Wang Chung? We heard about what happened at F University, and we'd like to do a special interview with you. Would that be possible? Your story is a perfect fit for our Urban Artisans column." I was stunned. Me, a cafeteria cook, could actually be featured in a magazine, become an urban artisan? I looked at the spatula in my hand, still dusted with flour, then at the vibrant young faces outside the window, and a strange feeling suddenly welled up in my heart. Perhaps, by holding on to some of the simplest things, you can truly receive an unexpected echo. Okay, I replied calmly into the phone. Director Li was dismissed. Zhou Qian took a leave of absence from school, and the atmosphere in the cafeteria began to be rectified under immense public pressure. I had thought that my former university would simply fade from my life, becoming a sealed-away memory. I underestimated a principal's determination, and I underestimated how severe the after-effects of my departure were. In the third week of the affair's fermentation, an unexpected group of visitors appeared in the F University cafeteria. Leading them was an old man with graying hair but a vigorous spirit. He wore a simple Zhongshan suit, his demeanor refined and scholarly. He was the principal of my former university, a highly respected old professor in the academic world. Beside him followed the newly appointed director of the logistics department and 2 representatives from the student union, one of whom was, to my surprise, Sun Hao. They were not arrogant like Zhou Qian's parents, nor were they sycophantic like Director Li. They just stood quietly at the end of the line, like the most ordinary of students. When it was their turn, the old principal personally held a tray and brought it before me. He held himself in a very humble posture, his voice filled with sincerity. "Master Wang, could you give me a 5 yuan meal set?" I looked at him in silence. The students of F University had also noticed this unusual scene, and the entire cafeteria fell quiet. I shook my head. "Im suri, principal. Our university's compassion meal set requires student verification from this university." My refusal made the situation a bit awkward. The new director behind the old principal quickly stepped forward, a smile plastered on his face. "Master Wang, you see, the principal came here specifically to—" The old principal waved his hand, stopping him. He looked at me, his eyes showing not the slightest displeasure, but instead filled with apology. "Master Wang, you are right. Rules are rules." He set the tray aside. "Then we won't eat. I came today, on behalf of the university, to formally apologize to you." With that, he faced me and gave a deep bow. A 90-degree bow. A man in his 60s, a highly respected principal in the academic world, was bowing to me, a cook, in front of this small cafeteria window. I was completely stunned. Little Lee and the new kitchen hand beside me were also agape with shock. All the F University students in the cafeteria gasped. The old principal straightened up and continued, "Master Wong, the university had a huge lapse in management before, employing the wrong people, which caused you to suffer a tremendous injustice. This was our dereliction of duty. On behalf of the university, I express my deepest apologies to you. We have already dealt with the responsible parties and have also administered serious disciplinary action against the students who spread rumors. Now, I only want to ask one thing, Master Wong, are you still willing to come home?" The words "come home" from his mouth made the eyes of Sun Hao and the other student representatives instantly turn red. The old principal took a document from the new director's hand. "This is the new contract we have drafted. We are willing to give you the entire first floor of the third cafeteria to operate independently, exempting you from all rent and utility fees for 10 years. The university will provide an additional 500,000 yuan as your craftsmanship fund. Whether you want to make compassion meal sets or develop new dishes, the university will support you unconditionally. We only have one request. Come back. The students can't be without you." The terms were staggeringly generous. The sincerity was also pushed to the extreme. The surrounding F University students felt their hearts in their throats. Teacher Zhang had appeared nearby at some point, watching me with a solemn expression. Everyone thought I had no reason to refuse. I was silent for a long time. Then I raised my head, looked into the old principal's eyes, and said word by word, "Principal, thank you for your generous offer. But I'm sorry, I'm not going back." The old principal's whole body shook, and a look of incredible disappointment filled his eyes. "Why?" he pressed. "Are the terms still not enough? We can negotiate further." "No, it's not about the terms." I shook my head, my gaze sweeping over the expectant faces behind him, finally landing back on the bright and warm cafeteria where I stood. "Principal, do you know what a bowl looks like after it's been shattered?" I picked up a clean porcelain bowl from beside me and tapped it lightly, producing a crisp sound. Even if you use the best porcelain mending craftsmanship to piece it back together, it will still have cracks. Every time you fill it with water, you'll worry if it will leak. Every time you eat, you'll see those ugly scars. My heart is like that shattered bowl. At that university, it was smashed to pieces. Although I've picked it up and brought it here, the cracks will always be there. F University gave me a new bowl, an intact, clean, and sturdy bowl. I held up the bowl in my hands for them to see. I use this new bowl now. I feel at ease, very secure. I don't want to go back to guarding that broken bowl, living in constant fear. Once a heart turns cold, it's truly hard to warm it up again. As I finished speaking, the last glimmer of hope on the old principal's face was extinguished. He was silent for a long time, and finally, he let out a long sigh and bowed to me again. "I understand. It was us. We'll let you down." He turned around and left silently with his people. His stooped back was filled with endless regret and desolation. Watching them leave, I felt no thrill of victory, only a sense of calm, of dust settling. That old bowl could finally be completely let go, and my new life was just beginning. The old principal's personal visit and my final refusal became the last straw that broke the camel's back. After this incident, the students of both universities completely understood that Master Wong would absolutely not be coming back. The students of F University celebrated as if they had won a major battle. The forum of the opposite university, however, fell into a long silence. The few posts that occasionally appeared were all filled with nostalgia and remorse. Gone was the initial hostility and clamor. Life returned to peace. The exclusive interview I had arranged with the food magazine took place as scheduled on a sunny afternoon. The person who came was a very young female reporter. She didn't ask any sharp questions about the previous school. Instead, as if we were just chatting, she asked me why I chose to be a chef and what my happiest moment of the day was. I told her that my father was a cook, that I grew up by the stove, and I felt the symphony of pots and pans was the most beautiful sound in the world. I told her my happiest moment each day was seeing the students eat every last bit of the food I made, then patting their full stomachs and letting out a satisfied burp. At the end of the interview, She asked me, "Master Wang, you're quite famous now. Have you ever thought about leaving the cafeteria to open your own, more profitable restaurant?" Little Lee and the kitchen helper looked at me with anticipation. They had been curious about this question for a long time, too. I smiled and wiped down the stove. My original intention was to let those kids who were tight on money have a hot meal. In a big restaurant, there are no 5 yuan set meals, nor are there so many students who come just to fill their stomachs. This is my place. I'm not going anywhere. A week later, that issue of the magazine was published. My story, along with a photo of me in my chef's uniform, smiling honestly, took up 2 full pages. The title of the article was Wang Chung, My Kindness is Expensive, reserved only for those who know how to cherish it. The article caused a bit of a stir. Many people were touched by this simple chef and his even simpler philosophy. F University even framed the article and hung it in the most prominent position in the cafeteria, right next to my window. Teacher Zhang joked that I was now the living signboard of F University, more effective than any slogan. Because of this, I also received some business collaboration invitations. There was even a food company that wanted to launch a line of instant meals using my name. I declined them all one by one. Money is a good thing, but I know even better what is more important than money. The days passed just like that. Business at my window remained brisk. With the school's support, the 5 yuan set meal was even expanded to 500 servings a day, with more dishes added. Little Lee became my senior apprentice and could already handle things on his own. The new kitchen helper was also diligent and willing to work hard. Occasionally, I would receive messages from Sun Hao. He said that their school's cafeteria had been completely reformed. They had brought in several chain brands, and the food tasted much better than before, but the prices were also much higher. The students no longer had to eat slop, but they could also no longer find that 5 yuan window that could ensure everyone got a full meal. He said that after Zhou Qian's leave of absence ended, she didn't return to school, but transferred directly to a university abroad. That once popular forum had also become deserted, as if everyone was deliberately avoiding that unpleasant memory. He said, the legend of Master Wang had become an eternal regret and lesson in the hearts of their generation of students. After reading the message, I didn't reply. I just silently brought a large platter of freshly cooked braised eggplant to the window. "Classmates, a new dish is here. Come and have a taste." Outside the window, young, smiling faces gathered around, letting out a cheer. A boy shouted loudly, "Thank you, Master Wang." I picked up the ladle. The sunlight streamed in through the bright windows, shining on my spatula and on those vibrant faces. A wave of warmth. I knew this was the life I wanted. Simple, down to earth, needed and respected. As for the storms of the past, let them pass. One must always look forward, just like the spatula in my hand, which is always facing the steaming pot in front of me. Inside it is my life, and also my world. That feature story, titled My Kindness is Expensive, was like a stone thrown into a calm lake, and the ripples it created far exceeded my imagination. My story, through that small magazine, spread from the campus of F University to many corners of the city. At first, it was just a few scattered phone calls. There was the director of a nursing home who asked if I could go and cook a meal for the elderly. There was a charity organization that invited me to share my experiences. I politely declined them all, citing my busy work schedule at the cafeteria. I always remember my place. I am a cook, and my battlefield is this 3-foot stove. Until one phone call, which I couldn't easily refuse. The caller introduced herself as Lynn, a project manager for the Municipal Youth Development Foundation. "Master Wang, hello." Her voice was gentle, without a trace of formality, getting straight to the point. "Our foundation has been paying close attention to the living conditions of university students, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds. Your story has given us great inspiration. You're too kind. I just did what I was supposed to do." I replied humbly, wiping my hands. "No, what you did was not just your duty. You taught the most vivid lesson to all of us engaged in youth work." Ms. Lin's tone was sincere. "Master Wang, I'm contacting you today with a presumptuous request, but I feel that you might be the only one who can do this. Please go on." Through our research, the foundation has found that over a dozen universities in the city have problems similar to your previous school. The cafeteria food is overpriced, but the quality doesn't match. Many students, in order to save money, suffer from long-term malnutrition. We want to promote your 5 yuan charity meal model throughout the city's universities, but we are missing a sole figure. A sole figure? I didn't understand. Yes, Ms. Lin said. We have the funds to subsidize the meals. We have the channels to communicate with the logistics departments of various universities. But we don't have a head coach like you who understands cooking and management and, most importantly, has a heart that truly cares for the students. We hope to hire you as the chief consultant for our university charity cafeteria project. You would be responsible for setting the menu standards, training the cafeteria cooks, and supervising the operational quality. We believe that only you can establish the soul of this project. I was completely stunned after hearing this. Chief consultant? Head coach? These titles were too distant for me. I was just a cook who had spent half his life with a spatula, oil, salt, soy sauce, and vinegar. To ask me to manage people, to set standards, how could I possibly be qualified? Ms. Lin, you think too highly of me. I can't do this. I subconsciously wanted to refuse. I barely know how to use a computer and can't read many characters. I'm not cut out to be a consultant. Master Wong, what we need is not a manager who can make a PowerPoint presentation, but a craftsman who can use the simplest principles to teach other cooks to cook with heart. Ms. Lin seemed to have anticipated my reaction and said unhurriedly, "Please don't be so quick to refuse. Are you free this weekend? Could I take you to see the cafeterias of a few universities? You don't have to say anything, just take a look, okay?" Since she had put it that way, it would seem unreasonable for me to refuse again. Besides, a sliver of curiosity had indeed been sparked in my heart. All right, I agreed. That weekend, I took off the chef's uniform I had worn for half my life and changed into a clean set of casual clothes. Ms. Lin, driving an ordinary family car, picked me up punctually at the gate of F University. Our first stop was a vocational and technical college in the eastern part of the city. It was lunchtime, and the cafeteria was bustling with people. As we walked to the serving window, the smell of cheap oil mixed with unfresh ingredients hit us. The prices on the menu weren't exorbitant, but the appearance of the food was truly unappetizing. A plate of stir-fried bean sprouts was dark and murky, making it impossible to tell what seasonings had been used. A dish of so-called braised chicken pieces consisted mostly of bones and chicken necks, with a few scattered pieces of meat looking limp and soaked in a cloudy sauce. I saw a young man who had only gotten a bowl of rice, then took out a packet of pickled mustard greens from his pocket and began to wolf it down with the free soup. The way he ate overlapped in my mind with the girl who had been chewing on a dry steam bun. My heart felt as if it had been pricked by a needle, a dense and spreading pain. Ms. Lin said nothing, just looked at me silently. Next, we went to the second and third universities. The situations were largely the same. Either the prices were ridiculously expensive, with a simple plate of rice with a topping costing over 30 yuan, or the quality of the food was appalling, hardly seeming like food meant for young people. And without exception, in the corner of every cafeteria, I could see those young, lonely figures, eating only plain rice or steamed buns with pickled vegetables. On the way back, the atmosphere in the car was heavy. I said nothing the entire way, just watching the streetscape fly backward outside the window. In my mind, the faces of those students replayed over and over again. I had saved 100, maybe even the several thousand students at F University. But in other corners of this city, there were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of children just like them. The strength of one person was, after all, limited. The car stopped at the gate of F University, and I prepared to get out. Master Wong, Ms. Lin stopped me. Do you now still feel that you are just an ordinary cook? I gripped the car door handle, silent for a long time. I turned back, looked into her expectant eyes, and spoke with gravity. Ms. Lin, I can't be the general consultant. Seeing the disappointment in her eyes, I continued, but that chief instructor role, I'll take it. After agreeing to serve as the chief instructor, I didn't immediately leave my stove. I had a meeting with Ms. Lin and the people from the foundation. I laid out my conditions, or rather, my way of working. First, I don't work in an office. My office is the back kitchen of F University. Any chef who wants to learn the compassion meal must come to me, start from washing and cutting vegetables, and apprentice with me, for at least a week. Second, I don't write any manuals full of rules and regulations. I have only two standards. One, the ingredients must be purchased on the same day, fresh and clean. Two, your conscience must be spotless, without the slightest impurity. Anyone who can't meet these standards can get lost. Third, I will only take 1 month each year to inspect the various universities. I won't give any advance notice. I'll go eat like a regular student. If any cafeteria is substandard, I'll revoke their certification on the spot, and the foundation will immediately stop the subsidy. My demands, to the foundation staff accustomed to standardized procedures and paperwork, seemed utterly unorthodox. But Ms. Lin pushed against all opposition and agreed to everything. She said, Master Wang's rules are the soul of this project. What we want isn't a beautiful report, but a hot meal in the children's bowls. And so, Window No. 3 at F University became a peculiar existence within the city's university logistics system. It was both a cafeteria window, with booming business, and an unofficial training base. The first to be sent to learn was a chef from a vocational and technical college in the east of the city, a stout man named Liu. When he first arrived, he was full of defiance. He thought it was absurd that a veteran chef like him, with 20 years of experience, was being sent to learn from a simple cafeteria cook. His words were always tinged with a hint of disdain. Master Wang, we're all just cooking in bulk. What kind of fancy tricks can you possibly pull off? It's all the same, isn't it? I didn't argue with him. The first day, I had him wash 300 jean of potatoes. The second day, I had him chop onions all day long, which made his eyes stream with tears. The third day, I finally let him stand by the stove, not to cook but to scrub the pots. He had to scrub every single large pot in front of him until it was gleaming and could reflect his own image. Master Liu's resentment grew heavier, and several times he was on the verge of quitting. It wasn't until the fourth day that I officially taught him my signature dish, braised chicken with potatoes. From how to blanch the chicken to remove the gamey taste, to the ratio of spices, to the control of the heat, I demonstrated every single step myself. When that large pot of fragrant, golden brown braised chicken and potatoes was ready, Master Liu was completely stunned. He tasted a bite, and his eyes grew as wide as bells. This flavor is incredible. He smacked his lips, his face full of disbelief. Master Wang, I'm convinced. I'm utterly convinced. What I was making before, that was pig feed. I patted him on the shoulder. Old Liu, skill is secondary. When you can treat this stove as your own face, and treat the students as your own children, the flavor of your food won't be far off. A week later, Master Liu graduated. He returned to his own school and, the very next day, launched the exact same 5 yuan compassion meal as F University. Reportedly, on the first day of its launch, they sold over 800 servings. The students lined up in a queue so long, it almost broke the glass of his service window. That boy who used to eat only rice mixed with pickled vegetables was the first to rush up. After getting his meal, he looked at Master Liu inside the window and bawled his eyes out. Master Liu called me later. On the other end of the line, the stout man in his 40s was also crying. He said, Master Wang, I finally understood today. What you taught me wasn't how to cook at all. You taught me how to be a person. With the first success story, the rest fell into place. Batch after batch of canteen chefs from universities all over the city came to my back kitchen. They came with all sorts of intentions, but without exception, they all left with a rekindled sense of purpose. My little window was like a spark, spreading light and warmth to every corner of the city. I still cooked and worked the wok every day. Xiao Li had become fully capable of holding his own, and had even improved upon my recipes to create a few of his own signature dishes. Teacher Zhang would come by for a free meal every few days, always saying cheerfully, Old Wang, you truly have students all over the world now. But no matter how many apprentices you teach, I still think this plate of scrambled eggs with tomato you cook yourself is the best. I smiled and added another spoonful to his bowl. The students at F University also knew that their Master Wang was quietly doing something remarkable. They didn't publicize it, but they supported me in their own way. Every day after my window closed, student volunteers would always stay behind to help me clean up. Some computer science students even spontaneously created a website called Master Wang's Kindness Map which marked all the university canteens in the city that offered the loving meal, making it easy for students to find them. Watching all of this, I felt a richness in my heart I had never known before. It was a kind of wealth that no amount of money could buy. It turned out that a person's value is not determined by how much they have, but by how much they give and how many people they influence. I was still that ordinary cook, Wang Chung, but it seemed something about me was no longer ordinary. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. Autumn arrived, and with it, another graduation season. The Master Wang's Loving Canteen project had been fully implemented in 16 universities across the city and was running smoothly. I had become the most respected head instructor among the canteen chefs, even though I hadn't stepped outside F University's gates in a year. My life was busy and peaceful. That afternoon, I was humming a tune in the back kitchen, prepping ingredients for the evening, when Xiao Li suddenly ran in. "Brother Chung, there's someone outside looking for you. Says he's an old friend." I wiped my hands and walked to the window, where I saw a figure that was both familiar and somewhat strange. It was Sun Hao. 2 years had stripped him of his boyish immaturity. Dressed in a sharp suit, his hair neatly combed, he was already a mature and composed young man. When he saw me, a brilliant smile spread across his face, but his eyes were slightly red. "Uncle Wang," he called out. "Graduated?" I asked with a smile. "Yes, I just came from the graduation ceremony," he said. "As soon as it was over, I came straight here. I told myself that in 4 years of university, I could miss seeing my advisor, but I had to see you again." A warmth spread through my chest. I had Xiao Li bring him a stool and personally went to the kitchen to cook him a plate of his old favorite, braised chicken with potatoes. We sat in a quiet corner of the canteen, chatting like old friends who had been apart for a long time. He told me he had found a very good job and would be moving to another city in a few days. He told me that our old university had changed a lot in the past 2 years. The canteen had been completely renovated, and both the food and the environment were much better. But, he said, picking at the rice in his bowl with a touch of nostalgia, no window dares to offer unlimited rice anymore. And you can't find a meal with meat for just 5 yuan anymore. He paused, then took out a square object wrapped in red cloth from his briefcase and handed it to me. "Uncle Wang, this is a graduation gift from us old students. We all pitched in to have it made for you." Puzzled, I unwrapped the red cloth. Inside was an exquisite picture frame. In the frame was not some valuable painting or calligraphy, but a photograph. The photo was of my old, small, and even somewhat shabby window No. 3. Hanging on the window was the crooked, handwritten sign, "Loving Meal, 5 yuan." The photo was low resolution, likely taken secretly by a student with a phone at the time. But the dim yellow light and my blurry, busy figure in the window held a power that stirred the heart. At the bottom of the frame, a small brass plaque was embedded, engraved with a line of text. "In memory of the kindness we once had, but ultimately lost." My hand caressed the cold frame, my fingertips trembling slightly. Sun Hao looked at me and said softly, "Uncle Wang, we actually printed 2 copies of this photo. One for you, and the other, we hung it on the student union's wall of honor." Now, our school has an unwritten tradition. Every time a new class of freshmen arrives, the student union president stands in front of that photo and tells them a story. A story about a cafeteria chef named Wang Chung, a 5 yuan meal deal, and a shattered bowl. We want everyone to remember that some things, once lost, can never be found again. We want everyone to learn how to cherish and protect every bit of kindness around them. Sun Hao's tears finally fell, dripping into his rice bowl. I raised my head and looked out the window. On the campus of F University, students came and went, laughing and playing, full of life and vitality. A long line had formed at my window again. A boy wearing a student loan t-shirt was shyly handing 5 yuan to Xiao Li. Xiao Li skillfully took the money, served him a heaping plate of food piled high like a small mountain, and smiled as he patted the boy's shoulder, telling him to eat more. Everything was so harmonious, so warm. I withdrew my gaze and carefully placed the precious photo frame beside me. I picked up my chopsticks and put a piece of potato into Sun Hao's bowl. "It's all in the past now," I said calmly. "One must always look forward. Look how blue the sky is now." With tears in his eyes, Sun Hao nodded vigorously and began to eat heartily. Sunlight streamed in through the window, stretching our two shadows very, very long. I knew that the story of the broken bowl had finally, truly come to a close today. Although the old bowl was shattered, its fragments had, in another way, embedded themselves into the lives of many more people, becoming a mirror that constantly reminded them. And I, holding my new bowl in this wider world, had found my final and most steadfast home. I picked up the teacup on the table and took a sip. The tea was warm, just right. The photo frame engraved with the lost kindness. I didn't hang it up. Instead, I put it away in a wooden box under my dorm bed. Inside the box were the old kitchen cleaver my father passed down to me and the cloth shoes my mother stitched for me when I first came to this city. These are my roots. Sun Hao's visit was like a gentle farewell ceremony, completely dissolving the last lingering knot of the past in my heart. My life, like the waters of the F River, flowed forward, calm and steady. The Master Wang's Kindness Map website, managed by a computer science student named Chen Yang, was becoming more and more refined. He not only added a real-time updated menu, but even created a student satisfaction polling system. It was clear at a glance which school's kindness meal deal was the tastiest and which master was the most generous. This inadvertently created a form of friendly competition. The apprentices I had trained all put in their utmost effort, afraid of falling behind in the rankings. One noon, Chen Yang came running to my window excitedly, holding a laptop. Uncle Wang, look, I've added a new feature for you." I was busy serving food to the students and took a moment to glance over. On the screen was a cleanly designed page with the title, "Add a scoop of rice for your alma mater, alumni donation portal." "What's this?" I asked. "Uncle Wang, I'm graduating soon, and I might not be able to maintain the website every day." Chun Yang's face was brimming with the passion and idealism unique to young people. "So, I was thinking, could we give this project a way to sustain itself? We have a lot of graduates, don't we? Like senior Sun Hao. When they go out into the world and become capable, they'll surely be willing to do something for the younger students." He pointed to the screen and explained, "Through this portal, alumni can select their alma mater and make online donations. Every sum of money will go directly into a special account of the foundation, with the bookkeeping being completely open and transparent. This money is specifically used to subsidize that school's kindness meal deal. This way, even if the foundation's continuous funding stops in the future, our kindness meal deal can be passed down from one generation of students to the next and continue forever." I listened dumbfounded. I had never imagined that a simple, kind thought of mine from long ago could, in the hands of these young people, blossom into a flower so beautiful I couldn't have even conceived of it. I always thought I was just a cook, my abilities limited to the spatula in my hand. But these kids, using knowledge and technology completely beyond me, have attached a pair of wings to my spatula. "Uncle Wang, what do you think? If you agree, we'll go live officially." Chen Yang's eyes were sparkling. I looked at him, and it was as if I saw countless versions of the Sun Hao I once was, saw those young faces eating 5 yuan meals, their eyes sparkling with the same light. What else could I say? I nodded forcefully, my voice a bit hoarse with emotion. "All right, let's do it. You young people have got what it takes." Chen Yang was so happy he nearly jumped for joy. After he left, I stood alone in the back kitchen, unable to calm myself for a long time. I suddenly realized that what I was doing was no longer just about me. I had lit a match, and these kids, they had brought a forest. This fire, perhaps it really could burn forever and never die. The first month the donation channel was online, the results were unexpectedly good. Many F University alumni who had graduated years ago heard the news through alumni groups and generously opened their wallets. Although most individual donations were 50 or 100 yuan, many small streams make a great river. Soon, a considerable amount of fuel was stored up for F University's Caring Meals program. Students from other universities saw it and shared it in their own alumni circles. For a time, "Add a spoonful of rice for a junior schoolmate at our alma mater" became a trendy and heartwarming slogan. Every day, I looked at the back-end data Chen Yang sent me. The constantly jumping numbers made me happier than the sales from my own window. Until one night, Chen Yang called me, his voice full of shock and confusion. "Uncle Wang, something big has happened." Quick, look at the back end. Someone donated a huge sum. My heart skipped a beat. I quickly opened the mobile back end. Amidst the dense list of donation records, a glaring number made me hold my breath instantly. 200,000. A full 200,000 RMB. And the designated recipient of this huge sum was not F University. Not any of the universities already covered by the Caring Canteen project, but that place I no longer wish to mention. My alma mater. The place that had once cast me aside like a worn-out shoe. In the donor's message section, there was only one sentence, a sentence that filled me with 100 conflicting emotions. For the bowls that can't be mended, and for the chances to make new ones. Xinyang asked over the phone, Uncle Wang, what does this mean? This money, what do we do with it? Your alma mater isn't part of our project. I fell silent. My mind was instantly flooded with images. The ID Qianqian's guardian, who had cheered for Zhou Qian on the forum, saying, our Qianqian is just brave. The couple who drove a luxury car and tried to buy my dignity with 100,000 yuan. And that exquisite and cutting girl, Zhou Qian, who had disappeared without a trace after dropping out of school. Who could have donated this money? A remorseful Zhou Qian? Her parents, atoning for their daughter's sins? Or that guardian who once blindly admired her? I didn't know, and I didn't want to know anymore. What was important was that this money, carrying a belated apology and a determination to make amends, had arrived before me. How should I treat this tardy kindness? If I refused, it seemed to go against my original intention of promoting the Caring Meals program. But if I accepted, how could I face my own heart, which had once been shattered to pieces? I thought about it for a whole night. The next day, I called Ms. Lin and told her my decision. Ms. Lin, we will accept this money, but I have one condition. Master Wang, please go on. Please personally contact the new head of logistics at my alma mater. Tell him that this special fund of 200,000 yuan will be used to restart the 5 yuan Caring Meal program at the school. However, the operation of this window must be under the dual supervision of our foundation and the F University student volunteers. The food standards and hygiene requirements must be exactly the same as ours. Also, I paused, then added, tell him the cook for this window doesn't need to come here for training. Just let him figure it out himself. I believe that with those 200,000 yuan and that photo hanging on their wall of honor, he should know what to do. Ms. Lin was silent on the other end of the phone for a moment. Then she understood my meaning. All right, Master Wang, I understand. You want to give them a chance to mend the broken bowl with their own hands. No, I corrected her. I just want that 200,000 yuan to become bowls of hot food delivered into the hands of the children who need it. As for that bowl, whether it was round or flat, beautiful or ugly, had nothing to do with me anymore. After hanging up the phone, I let out a long sigh of relief. The last knot in my heart had also been untied. Forgiving, perhaps, is difficult, but letting go could be very simple. My kindness is still precious, but I don't mind pointing out a viable path for a good intention that has found its way back from a wrong turn. My alma mater's 5 yuan charity meal, under the supervision of the foundation and with the support of those 200,000 yuan, stumbled back into business. It said that on the opening day, the scene was even more bustling than at F University. Many senior students, and even some young teachers, queued up to buy it. They weren't just there for a meal. It was more like they were participating in a ritual, a farewell to the past, and a hope for the future. The new cafeteria chef, though his skills couldn't compare to mine, was exceptionally diligent and gave generous portions of food. Sun Hao told me all of this through WeChat. I just listened quietly, occasionally replying with a got it, without further comment. My world had long been filled by the lively atmosphere of F University and my apprentices scattered throughout the city. In a flash, another winter solstice arrived. F University was about to start its winter break, and the cafeteria gradually grew quiet. On this day, as I was leading little Li through the final inventory and cleaning, Teacher Zhang walked in beaming. Old Wang, stop what you're doing. Quickly, go to the main hall. Someone is treating you to a meal. I was taken aback. Who? You'll know when you get there. They're all old acquaintances of yours. Teacher Zhang gave a mysterious smile and pulled me out the door. As soon as I walked into the cafeteria's main hall, I was instantly stunned. The once empty hall was now filled with over a dozen large round tables, all packed with people. Chef Liu from the City East Vocational and Technical College. Chef Zhang from the City West Normal University. Chef Li from the City South University of Technology. The heads of the charity cafeterias from all 16 universities in the city, my nominal apprentices, had all come. When they saw me, they all stood up and applauded. The head chief is here. Chef Liu had the loudest voice, his shout making the whole cafeteria buzz. Looking at these familiar and unpretentious faces, my eyes instantly welled up. Ms. Lin also emerged from the crowd and said to me with a smile, "Chef Wang, this was organized by everyone spontaneously. It's nothing much. We just wanted to get together with you, our head chief, for a reunion dinner before the new year." On the tables, there were no rare delicacies, but rather the signature dishes from each cafeteria. Chef US braised chicken with potato, Chef Zagnes braised eggplant, Chef Lies mapo tofu. Each dish carried the familiar Wang style, yet also had its own innovations. This didn't feel like a banquet, but more like a grand martial arts conference. And I was the founding grandmaster, respected by all the sects. That day, I drank a lot of wine. I listened to them animatedly reporting their respective achievements. Chef Liu said that a needy student at his school, after eating the charity meal for half a year, became healthier and more confident, and even won a national scholarship this year. Chef Zhang said that their school's alumni donation channel received a $10,000 donation from an alumnus working in the United States. The alumnus said he had relied on financial aid to finish university, and now he wanted to pass on that warmth. Chef Li said that using the methods I taught him, he not only improved the charity meal, but also brought the entire cafeteria's management to a new level. Now, their cafeteria has the highest satisfaction rating in the entire university. Story after story, like warm currents, converged into a warm ocean in my heart. I was drunk, not from the wine, but from this profound sense of happiness that words could not describe. After the banquet dispersed, I remained alone in the empty cafeteria. Outside the window, the first snow of the winter began to fall. I stood before my long-polished window No. 3, looking out. The snowflakes fell on the campus of F University, serene and beautiful. My phone vibrated. It was a newly created WeChat group called Chef Wang's Apprentices. Inside, photos popped up one after another. They were the smiling faces of students from various schools in front of the charity cafeteria windows. Beneath the photos were simple New Year's blessings. Happy New Year to the head chief. Wishing Chef Wang good health. Thank you for allowing us to also become people who pass on warmth. I looked at the screen, and as I smiled, tears began to fall. In this life of mine, I haven't read many books, nor have I seen much of the world. I'm just a cook who hovers around the stove. But at this moment, looking at the snow outside the window, at the smiling faces on my phone, I felt as if I owned the entire world. The old bowl that I once considered my life is broken. But now, I have reaped a sky full of stars. The day I rejected the principle of my alma mater, I used the metaphor of a broken bowl. I never expected that 2 years later, someone would actually show up with a large sum of money, wanting to mend this broken bowl I had long since abandoned. That anonymous donation of 200,000 yuan, like a giant stone thrown into a lake, caused a huge stir in the foundation and our small team of volunteers. In the end, I decided to give them this chance, not as forgiveness, but as a chance for goodness, an outlet for self-redemption. Ms. Lin was very efficient. Soon, in a remote corner on the second floor of the third cafeteria at my familiar alma mater, the new 5 yuan charity meal window quietly opened. There was no ribbon cutting, no publicity, only a small paper notice. I thought the matter would end there. My life would return to peace, and my spatula would continue to compose its own symphony in the cafeteria of F University. But I underestimated the difficulty of mending a broken bowl. About a month later, Ms. Lin called me, her voice tinged with fatigue and difficulty. "Master Wang, your alma mater. There might be a problem." "What's wrong?" I was wiping the stove, and my movements paused for a moment. "The operating cost of the new window just won't come down." Ms. Lin said, "The new master is very hard-working and responsible. He follows our standards strictly, not daring to be the least bit careless. But he's not you. He doesn't have your almost stringent control over costs, nor does he have your unique sourcing channels. In the first month alone, That window lost nearly 30,000 yuan. That 200,000 yuan donation seems like a lot, but at this burn rate, it'll be gone in less than half a year. I fell silent. This was something I had long expected. My craft is muscle memory honed by 30 years of smoke and fire. My cost control is a survival instinct sharpened by haggling in the wet market every day at 4 in the morning. These are not things a new master, appointed in a crisis, can learn with passion alone. Their new head of logistics came to me today. Ms. Lin continued. What he was implying was he wanted to ask if you could find some time to instruct them a bit, or even just give their master some private lessons, offer a few pointers. After listening, I laughed. Ms. Lin, do you remember the rules I set back then? I remember. No sitting in an office, no writing reports. Anyone who wants to learn must come to me and start by washing vegetables and scrubbing pots. Then let's stick to the rules. My tone left no room for negotiation. In my Wang Cheng's kitchen, there's no such thing as private lessons. If I make this one exception, all the rules will become mere decorations in the future. I gave them the fishing rod, I gave them the pond, I even prepare the bait for them. If they don't even have the ability to catch the fish and feed themselves, it only means they are not worthy of this meal. But, Master Wang, that's 200,000 yuan in donations, and all those students waiting to eat. The students are innocent, but I shouldn't have to pay for the incompetence of the management. I interrupted her. If they can't even overcome this small difficulty, it proves they don't have the ability to mend this bowl at all. If it's broken, let's stay broken. Ms. Lin on the other end of the line let out a long sigh. I understand, Master Wang. After hanging up, my heart was perfectly calm. I am no saint. My kindness has an edge, and my principles have boundaries. I cannot endlessly remedy the past mistakes of others. I thought the matter would just fizzle out, that the charity window on my alma mater would perhaps be like a brilliant firework, returning to darkness after burning through all its fuel. However, that very weekend, an unexpected person appeared at F University. He didn't come to the cafeteria to find me. Instead, he went straight to the Student Activity Center and found Chun Yang and his volunteer team, who were maintaining the Charity Map website. The visitor was a young man in his early 20s, dressed in a clean white shirt and wearing black-rimmed glasses, looking very scholarly and gentle. But the moment he spoke, Chun Yang recognized him from the slightly nervous and guilty look in his eyes. Even though 2 years had passed, Chun Yang still vividly remembered the ID that had attacked me with the most vicious words on the forum, defending Zhou Qian, Qianqian's guardian. The young man walked up to Chun Yang and bowed deeply. Senior, hello. My name is Zhao Feng. I graduated from a school across the street from you 2 years ago. I want to apply to join your volunteer team and do something for the Love Canteen project. Zhao Feng's appearance threw Chun Yang and the entire volunteer team into a state of immense confusion and vigilance. A former enemy, someone who had fiercely stabbed Uncle Wang with a knife of a keyboard, was now knocking on their door, asking to join their team dedicated to protecting kindness. It sounded as absurd and suspicious as a weasel wishing a chicken a happy new year. Chun Yang neither agreed on the spot nor immediately refused. He took Zhao Feng to an empty meeting room, deciding to get to the bottom of things first. Facing Chun Yang's scrutinizing gaze, Zhao Feng appeared ill at ease. He wrung his hands, his head bowed, like a criminal awaiting judgment. I know you definitely don't believe me. He smiled bitterly. If I were you, I wouldn't believe me either. That was you 2 years ago, wasn't it? Qianqian's guardian. Chun Yang cut straight to the chase. Zhao Feng's body jolted, his face flushed crimson, and he finally nodded with difficulty. It was me, he said, as if summoning all his strength. I was a senior in college then, and I acted rashly. For a girl, I did a lot of stupid things. I thought I was upholding justice, that I was protecting the person I liked. It wasn't until Master Wang left, until the school forum was completely shut down, until Zhou Qian's parents caused a scene at F University, that I realized how outrageously wrong I had been. His voice grew softer, filled with remorse. I wasn't attacking a black-hearted merchant. I was using the most vicious words to trample on a truly kind person. That incident became the biggest demon in my heart during my last year of college, and for the past 2 years. Then why are you here today? For redemption. Chun Yang's tone remained cold. Yes and no. Zhao Feng looked up, a hint of earnestness in his eyes. After graduating, I started a small software company with a friend. I got lucky and made a little money. A while ago, I saw your donation channel. He took a deep breath and revealed a secret that left Chunyang dumbfounded. I was the one who donated the 200,000 to our alma mater. A deathly silence fell over the meeting room. Chunyang's mind went blank. He never would have imagined that the mysterious anonymous donor was the very young man before him, whom he had once considered a cyberbully. At the time, I just wanted to do something to make up for the mistake I made. Zhao Feng's voice trembled slightly. I didn't dare use my real name. I was too ashamed. I thought that by donating the money, my inner demon would be exorcised and the matter would be closed. But I was wrong. These past few days, I've been refreshing the school forum every day. I saw the new window open, and the students were very happy. But I also saw people doing the math, saying that at this rate of loss, the window wouldn't last long. It was then that I understood that money can't solve the fundamental problem. Mending a broken bowl requires not glue, but the skill and patience to know how to piece it back together. I saw your website and everything you've done for this project. I know you need more than just donations. You need technical skills, operations, and more people. I'm not good at much else, but I can write code and do data analysis. So I came. I'm not here to ask for anyone's forgiveness. I just want to use what I'm truly good at to do some real repair work on the bowl that I personally smashed. After speaking, Zhao Feng fell silent, merely looking at Chunyang with an almost pleading gaze. Chunyang's heart was in turmoil. Reason told him that Zhao Feng's past was a huge risk. But emotionally, he was moved by this belated, clumsy, yet sincere confession. He couldn't make this decision alone. That night, Chunyang knocked on my dormitory door. He told me everything about Zhao Feng. After listening, I remained silent for a long time, simply pouring him a cup of hot tea. Uncle Wang, what should I do? Chunyang asked, his face a mask of conflict. This person, can we take him? I looked at his young and confused face and smiled. I didn't answer him directly, but instead asked, Chunyang, do you remember why I agreed to let you all build this website in the first place? I remember. You said you only knew how to cook, but we understood our own generation's things, and you trusted us. That's right. I nodded. Now, I'm giving this problem to you. You are the leader of this team, and I trust your judgment. I only have 2 questions for you. First, do you think that this young man, Zhao Feng, is his heart clean now? Secondly, our project, our students who need help, do they need the craft he has in his hands? I handed the decision back to this young man, just as I had done before. I was no longer that chef fighting a lone battle. By my side, I now had a group of partners who could fight alongside me. My responsibility was no longer to make every decision for them, but to teach them how to make the right ones. Chunyang looked at me, his eyes gradually changing from confused to clear and firm. He stood up, faced me, and nodded heavily. Uncle Wang, I understand. In the end, Chunyang decided to accept Zhao Feng. This decision caused some small ripples within the volunteer team, but with Chunyang's persistence and explanation, everyone eventually chose to trust and accept. They gave Zhao Feng a chance, and in doing so, also gave themselves a chance to grow. Zhao Feng did not betray this trust. After joining the team, he made no demands. Every day, he just stayed quietly in a corner of the activity center, facing his computer, frantically typing code. Almost single-handedly, in just 2 short weeks, he tailored a concise and efficient back-end management system for the cafeteria of my alma mater. This system, unlike the complex and bloated commercial software on the market, had only one core function: cost control. From predicting daily customer traffic to calculating precise ingredient purchase quantities, from analyzing the yield rate of dishes to monitoring energy consumption of water, electricity, and gas, from real-time inventory checks to comparing supplier prices. Every single link was digitized and accurately quantified. When a new cafeteria chef got this system, he treasured it. The things he used to do based on experience and feeling were now supported by precise data. Which dish had high wastage? Which step was most wasteful? It was all clear at a glance. He quickly optimized the procurement process and adjusted the menu structure based on the system's recommendations. While ensuring the portions and taste remained unchanged, he managed to push the cost of the 5 yuan meal set down to 6.5 yuan. Adding the foundation's 3 yuan subsidy for each meal, he could still make a profit of 1.5 yuan on every set sold. The service window, finally, transformed from a money-burning bottomless pit into a self-sustaining, virtuous cycle. The 200,000 yuan donation was no longer life support medicine, but had become a development fund that could be used to improve equipment and reward employees. That once shattered bowl had finally been seamlessly glued back together by their own hands in a completely new way. Although the cracks were still visible, it could now steadily hold a full bowl of rice, a full bowl of hope. The head of logistics from my alma mater sent a special letter of thanks to the foundation and the F University volunteer team. In the letter, he highly praised the revolutionary management system and expressed his sincere admiration for the technical skills and dedication of the F University students. At the end of the letter, he wrote in a very subtle tone, for F University to have a craftsman like Master Wang, and even more so, young talents like student Qinyang and student Zhao Feng, is truly a blessing for your esteemed institution and a model for our generation to learn from. He didn't thank me directly, but he mentioned Zhao Feng's name. We all understood who this letter was meant for. On that early winter evening, I finished cleaning the stove and was preparing to lock up and go home. My phone vibrated gently. It was a text message from an unknown number. The message was short, just one sentence. Master Wang, thank you. I finally understand what gluing a bowl back together means. I looked at the message, a slight smile appearing on my lips. I didn't reply, just calmly pressed the delete button. I walked out of the cafeteria and saw that the lights in the distant student activity center were still on. Through the window, I could see Chen Yang, Zhao Feng, and a few other volunteers gathered around a computer, intensely discussing something. Their faces were all glowing with the kind of radiance that only appears when one is fighting for a cause they love. A warmth slowly flowed through my heart. My legacy, perhaps, had already extended far beyond the scope of culinary arts. I taught the master Lius of the world how to cook with heart, while these young people were using technology and love to build a stronger fortress for this cause. Every generation has its own spatula, and every generation has its own arena. And how fortunate I was to see this arena teeming with talent, with successors to carry the torch. I wrapped my old overcoat tighter, humming a tuneless little song, and walked in the direction of home. The night was beautiful tonight. Tomorrow would be another fine day.